Um, Thank you very much once more. I want to take this opportunity just to apologize for the technical hitch that we've just had. We are happy that our technical teams have gone around it and we are back. We are very, very sorry for that hitch. But nonetheless, we are on progress on behalf of the Head of Public Service, the Chief of Staff. We want to welcome again all the participants from the State Department for Internal Security and National Administration, and also the regulatory authorities who are mainly members, or rather the participants coming for this meeting. I want to warmly welcome all participants again to this consultative virtual meeting between the Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service and the National Police Service, and also the regulatory authorities and agencies in the security sector. Since we had already made our opening prayer, we will proceed, and we will be able to proceed in the manner in which we had started. But first, allow me to acknowledge the presence of our chief guest once again, the Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service, Honorable Felix Koskei. Also present here, we have the Inspector General of the National Police Service, Mr. Douglas Kanja Kirojo. We also have the DIGs for the Kenya Police Service, Eliud Lagat, and also the DIG for Administration Police Service, Mr. Gilbert Masengeli. And also we have the Director of DCI, Mr. Mohammed Amin, who is also in this meeting. We have the Principal Administrative Secretary in the Executive Office of the President, Mr. Adaosia. We have also the Principal Administrative Secretary for the National Police Service, Madam Banis Lemedeket. We also have the Principal Administrative Secretary, Internal Security, Mr. Jacob Narengo. We have the Principal Administrative Secretary for National Administration, Madam Beverly Opora. We also have the Chief Executive Officers from our regulatory authorities and agencies, from NACADA. We have also PBORA. We have Peace SRA. We have a CEO for NCIC. We have the CEO IPOA. We have the CEO Firearm Licensing Bureau, and also the National Crime Research Center. We also have, as you know, minister participants who are senior officers from the Office of the Chief of Staff and Head of the Public Service, the State Department also for Internal Security and National Administration, and also the regulatory authorities and agencies. We also have the heads of departments and units across the mentioned institutions. We also have the distinguished officers from the National Police Officers across the file and rank and file. And we also reserve a very, very special welcome to each one of you, again, our invited participants who have logged into this meeting from all across the length and breadth of this country, whether individually or in groups. And as I had mentioned, of course, the IG, the DIGs, the DCI, the PASEs, the CEOs, the heads of departments and units, and also all the police officers across the rank and file. We want now to move as we had scheduled, and I continue to apologize for the technical mishap, which has occasioned whatever experience we've had, but that has been resolved. And we want now to ask all the participants again to be as prudent and of course present in this particular meeting. I want to mention just a few protocols which will assist us as we progress with the meeting. Kindly observe the following. Number one is on self-introduction. We had said that introduce yourself in the chat section, whereupon you are supposed to indicate your name, your designation, maybe the station or the county, or the region, wherever you are. Also list where you are seated in groups. If you are in a sub-county, or in a county, or in a regional place, headquarters, or the national headquarters, please indicate where you are seated. This, of course, is a Zoom webinar, and it has been extended to YouTube. On microphones, you will note that this meeting is being held in a webinar format, and all participant microphones are currently switched off. So if indeed you will need to make any statements, you must be permitted. For those who may wish to speak during the plenary session, kindly raise your hand, after which our technical team will enable your microphone. For the questions and answers, I think we have some guidelines again, which are fairly new. You continue raising your questions on the Q&A section, and then you follow the responses in the chat section. I want to make that fairly clear. Continue raising questions on the Q&A section, but then in terms of responses, kindly follow in the chat section. I want that to be very clear. Dissemination of the materials after this, please note that all materials, including the PowerPoint presentations made, the recording of this meeting, as well as the speeches made also by the chief guest and the keynote speakers, they will be disseminated, of course, through the email addresses that you used to register for this particular meeting. We have also social media pages which are active, running concurrently with this meeting. We have Felix Koskei on Facebook, X, and TikTok. Please spell the name Koskei as K-O-S-K-E-I. K-O-S-K-E-I. And then number 2, also the Chief of Staff and Head of Public Services on YouTube channel. You follow through. And then please send pictures of you following this consultative meeting, whether alone or in groups, to WhatsApp number. Please note this number, 0722-229-229. I repeat, 0722-229-229. So you send your photo, whether alone, whether you are in groups, and maybe mention wherever you are, and send your picture to this WhatsApp number. We will again transition the program, as it were, and we will now proceed with the program. And to begin, please allow me to invite Mr. Ada Osia, CBS Principal Administrative Secretary in the Executive Office of the President, to deliver his welcome remarks. Welcome, sir.
Once again, our chief guest, sorry for the technical hinge. And as I was finishing my remarks, I was saying that the ultimate objective is clear: to ensure that this revitalization and re-energization agenda permeates every level of governance and reaches every corner of the Republic, embedding a culture of accountability, discipline, professionalism, result-oriented service delivery throughout the public service. Above all, we must ensure that our efforts translate into a lived and felt experience for our citizens. The people of Kenya must experience a public service that is responsive, efficient, compassionate, and firmly aligned to their needs and aspirations. I therefore urge each one of us to take personal responsibility in cascading this message within our respective institutions. We must have additional separate meetings convened by the leaderships of our different institutions. The police should be convened separately, the State Department be convened separately, as well as all the institutions. The conversation and feedback sessions must continue at every level until the transformation we seek becomes visible, tangible, and undeniable. With those remarks, our chief guest, allow me to invite the Inspector General of Police, National Police Service to give his remarks. Welcome, IG.
Very much, Mr. Osia, for those very good remarks. Our chief guest, who is the Chief of Staff and Head of the Public Service, none other than Mr. Felix Koskei, the PS, Interior State Department of Internal Security and National Administration, Dr. Lemod Omoro, the DIGs, that is Mr. Masegeri for the Administration Police Service and Mr. Lagat for the Kenya Police Service, and the DCI, Mr. Mohamed Amin, all the CEOs present and the chairpersons, senior officials, fellow participants, including all the police officers present in this today's engagement from all the levels, that's from the top to any other level within the policing sector. Chief guest, I must start by, first of all, congratulating you for taking your time and organizing this sectoral engagement. To me, this is something that is very timely. It is important to bring us together so that we can be able to engage and discuss issues affecting service delivery. You are all aware that police service plays a critical role in ensuring that all the people of Kenya, including their properties, are well protected and they are safe and secure. Having said that, police alone cannot deliver on that because security is a shared platform whereby we need everybody on board. And that is why the Chief of Staff, I want to congratulate you for forming this sectoral engagement so that we can be able to, all of us, engage and discuss matters that affect security services in the Republic of Kenya. At the end of the day, we want a situation whereby our police stations becomes the centers of excellence for service delivery to the people of Kenya. This is not a walk in the park. And this calls for everyone to get engaged so that our service can be able to reach there. Currently, the chief guest, we are in the middle of the reforms, police reforms, on our transformation journey. We are clearly being guided by our strategic plan for the 2023-2027 that is guiding us on our transformation journey. And in that transformation, there are many issues that we have been looking at, and we can, for now, start seeing the impacts of these reforms. For example, we have the improved operational efficiency and police response capability through enhanced mobility, modernization equipments, strengthened command systems, and expanding digitization initiatives. Our chief guest, within a period of around between three and 6 months, we should be in a position to engage the policing services from the comfort of our homes, from the comfort of our offices, because digitization will have taken place in the majority of our police stations. Remember, policing services is distributed throughout the Republic of Kenya. We have over 1,300 police stations. I would like a situation whereby more than 1,000 of them are engaged and deeply in the digitization program. So this is going to see us become better, more efficient, accountable to the people, and so forth. So I want to encourage us to continue in this direction. I want to encourage all of us to support each other so that we can be able to ensure that we achieve this. The welfare of our officers is also a key area. It's a force multiplier, whereby if we address the morale of the officers, including the salary reviews that has been done, the enhanced medical and group life insurance cover, and we recently migrated to SHA, the continued investment in police health facilities, the housing schemes, the institutional housing programs that are currently ongoing, these are, all of them are going to ensure that there is enhanced institutional transformation and services delivered through the, good leadership training, establishment of the ICT directorates, and improved interagency collaboration and growing adoption of technology in the policing operations. So this is a very, very timely sectoral engagement, and we can be able, and the officers themselves can be able to actively engage on these critical areas. I also want to encourage all those who are on board to actively and objectively engage in this webinar, so that we can be able to have a very, very healthy discussion. And with these few remarks, our chief guest, I want to add there, because we are going to continue engaging as we continue this webinar. Thank you very much.
Linda? Linda, are we together?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. We can hear you loud and clear.
In the absence of the PS, internal security, I think let me take this opportunity to welcome our chief guest, the Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service. Welcome, sir.
Sir, pass. We were to have remarks from Madam Beverly Opora to be able to make remarks on behalf of the Principal Secretary.
Yes. Then let's proceed.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Linda, and thank you so much, Mr. Arthur Osia, Principal Administrative Secretary in the Executive Office of the President. Our chief guest, sir, on behalf of the Principal Secretary.
Madam Beverly, kindly, your camera, I think, has gone off. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Our chief guest, sir, Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service, on behalf of our Principal Secretary, Dr. Raymond Omolo, who is engaged in a state event within the country, allow me first and foremost to ride on the protocols that have already been established by Mr. Osia and Mr. Lilan. Sir, indeed, as alluded to by past Mr. Osia, your engagements have clear goals towards improvement of performance within public service, so that members of the public can have efficient and effective services. I join my colleagues from the larger Ministry of Interior National Administration to thank you most sincerely, because last month you had such a successful engagement with Ngao and all cadres of officers were able to engage with you and receive guidance. Sir, once again, I join the Inspector General and our colleagues in thanking you for availing this opportunity for the security sector. Our chief guest and dear colleagues, the security sector is both the foundation and enabler for meaningful, sustainable development, without which no progress can be attained, whether socioeconomically or within the political fabric of our nation. The National Police Service and our supporting regulatory agencies and authorities within this sector have over time worked in a complementarity framework so as to ensure a peaceful and stable working environment for all other sectors to thrive and deliver effective services to members of the public. Our chief guest and dear colleagues, as you are aware, His Excellency the President, during his inaugural speech, committed to ensure that there are comprehensive reforms and an operational and budgetary autonomy for the National Police Service, as alluded to earlier by the Inspector General. And therefore, this would lead to ensuring that the sector operates optimally. To attain this, a national task force was put in place on the police reforms. And following the formation and operationalization of the said task force, I'm happy to report that as at March this year, the National Police Service has attained a percentage of 57.2 on implementation of the planned reforms, while both the Kenya Prison Service and the National Youth Service have attained a percentage of 52.8%. Therefore, Chief Guest, I'm happy to report that indeed we are on a good path. Our Chief Guest, ladies and gentlemen, the agencies as identified by Mr. Lilan within the State Department, that include a Firearms Licensing Board, NACADA, and so on, indeed have continued to work together with the National Police Service. Agency complementarity is therefore key to seamless service delivery within our sector. And as they play their roles, we have realized that the well-judged teams deliver, and they'll continue to deliver, for best outcomes that are going to guarantee premier security services to members of the public. Therefore, constant engagements such as this and others to come are not an option for us. And in addition to that, we must support one another, avoid silo mentality and delivery, for this will ensure achievement not only of this particular engagement, but service delivery to members of the public. And we are once again grateful to the Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service. Ladies and gentlemen, the need for transparent, accountable, and security within the security sector cannot be overemphasized. Therefore, today, we have an opportunity to candidly engage and learn from one another, the shortfalls and opportunities that we have at our disposal to improve the security sector. Transparency and accountability are constitutional tenets that each one of us must embrace. Without mincing words, in any measurable reports point out that the security sector is not a saint in regard to corruption, and therefore deliberate anti-corruption measures must be put in place as a recipe to attain excellent service delivery. I urge each and every officer that is participating in this particular forum to internalize the significance of this engagement, get back to track so that we can offer together excellent services to the best of our capability. Chief Guest, sir, I wish to assure you that the officers are ready and motivated to embrace the ongoing reforms and also receive your guidance today. They possess immense capabilities to support the delivery of the administration's goals as set up in the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. I am confident that your guidance today will further sharpen their commitments to effective service delivery, professional ethics, and the transparent delivery of services to all Kenyans, as envisaged by this engagement and as envisaged by the government of the day. I submit, sir. Thank you all, and I wish you fruitful deliberations. Back to you, Mr. Osia.
Thank you very much, Madam Pass, for that delivery. We wish now to bring back Mr. Osia to invite the chief guest. Sir, welcome back.
Thank you very much. My camera seems to have a challenge, but that is okay. Let me take this opportunity to welcome our chief guest, Head of Public Service, Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Manosia, Madam Opora, Wanadilan, the National Police Service, led by the Inspector General of the Police, Mr. Douglas Kanja, the Deputy Inspector Generals of Kenya Police Service, Edu Lagat, and Dr. Gilbert Masengeli, all chairpersons of boards, members of boards, and CEOs of institutions within the State Department, senior officials and staff from the State Department for Interior, and all distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Allow me at the outset to express my sincere and heartfelt appreciation to each and every one of you serving within our security ecosystem. I want to acknowledge and also commend you for the good work that you do for this country. Beyond the institutions and structures that we have often referred to, it is you as individuals, the men and women in uniform and in service, who carry out the true weight of this responsibility. It is your presence, your decisions, your vigilance, and your courage that ultimately determine whether a citizen feels safe or vulnerable. Every day, you make sacrifices that many may never fully see or fully understand. You leave your families behind, sometimes for long and uncertain periods. You work long, unpredictable hours, often without recognition, often in difficult environments, and often under immense pressure. You respond to danger when others are running away from it. Hii si kazi ya kawaida. It is a calling. It demands discipline, sacrifice, and a level of commitment that goes beyond personal comfort. Because of your vigilance and dedication, millions of Kenyans go to bed each night with a sense of safety and assurance. Parents sleep knowing their children are safe. Businesses operate knowing there is order. Communities continue with their daily lives because there are officers like you standing guard often unseen, but always present. Many Kenyans may not see it every day, but they depend on you. They rely on you to protect them from criminal elements, from insecurity, and from those who would otherwise bring harm and instability to our society. As a nation, we remain deeply indebted to you. I also want to recognize that you do this work in very challenging circumstances. At times, resources are stretched. At times, expectations are high. At times, the environment is complex and unpredictable, and yet you continue to serve. Ladies and gentlemen, hiyo ndio uzalendo wa ukweli. I want you to know that your efforts matter. Your sacrifices matter. Your role in safeguarding this country is not only recognized, it is valued, it is respected, and it is essential. And it is because of this important role that we must now engage honestly and seriously on how to strengthen this sector even further. Over the past few weeks, we have held similar engagements across different sectors of the public service. In all those engagements, as Bwana has enumerated, the message has been clear, consistent, and deliberate, that the public service must now move to a higher level of performance, that we must improve how we work, and that we must deliver better, faster, and more reliable services to the people of Kenya. Today, we bring that same message to the security sector. This is not a routine meeting, and it is not business as usual. It is part of a broader and deliberate effort by government to reset how the public service operates. Na ndiyo maana leo tuko hapa. This engagement is anchored on the theme, the revitalization and re-energization of respective sectors in the public service in the interest of optimization of performance for quality and timely service to the people, to the public. This is about renewing how we work, restoring energy and discipline in service delivery, and ensuring that what we do every day translates into real, visible results for the mwananchi. In simple terms, hatuwezi kuendelea vile tulikuwa tukifanya mambo zamani. We must do better. This is because the expectations of the public have changed. The demands on government have decreased, and the environment in which we operate continues to evolve. For the security sector, this is even more critical. Security is not just another service. It is the foundation upon which all other services depend. Ladies and gentlemen, at the center of all that we do is a Kenyan citizen, the mwananchi, who ultimately judges the effectiveness of this sector, not by our structures, not by our ranks, and not by our internal processes, but by their lived experience. For the ordinary Kenyan, interaction with the security sector is often at a moment of vulnerability. It is when they have been wronged, when they feel unsafe, or when they are seeking protection and justice. In that moment, they are not thinking about systems or procedures. They are not looking for help. They are only looking for help. They are looking for fairness. They are looking for response. Wananchi wanataka kusikilizwa, wanataka kuheshimiwa, na wanataka kusaidiwa kwa wakati. They expect that when they walk into a station, they will be received professionally and with dignity. They expect that when they report a crime, action will be taken promptly, and that when a case is taken up, it will be followed through to its logical conclusion. Above all, they expect that the system will work for them, not against them. So many Kenyans today travel, work, and interact in different parts of the world. They have different experiences on how public institutions operate in places such as Singapore, where services is efficient, professional, and predictable. When a citizen seeks assistance, they are attended to promptly, treated with respect, and their issues are handled with seriousness and follow through. That same Kenyan return home with those expectations. They do not leave those expectations at the airport. They come back expecting the same level of professionalism, the same level of efficiency, and the same level of respect from their own public institutions. Hawa wananchi wanapotaka huduma ya kiwango cha Singapore, hata sisi lazima tutoe huduma haya kwa kiwango ya juu. It is therefore cannot be acceptable that a Kenyan experiences high standards of service elsewhere, but encounters delays, indifference, or frustration when seeking same services at home. That gap between expectation and experience is what erodes trust. These expectations places responsibility on all of us, both collectively as a sector and individually as officers. Collectively, we are responsible for ensuring that the system functions as it should, that processes are clear, coordinated, and effective, that there are no gaps between reporting, response, investigation, and resolution, that as a sector, we deliver results that meet the expectations of the public. But equally important is individual responsibility, because at the end of the day, the citizen does not interact with a system. They interact with a person. They interact with an officer at the desk, an officer on patrol, or an officer handling their case. It is that individual interaction that shapes perception and determines whether the system is seen as working or failing. If one officer delays, the system is seen as low. If one officer is dismissive, the system is seen as uncaring. And if one officer acts with integrity and professionalism, the system is seen as effective. Kwa hivyo, kila mmoja wetu anabeba sura ya serikali. Each one of us represents government in the eyes of the citizens. Ladies and gentlemen, the question we must ask ourselves is simple. When a Kenyan interacts with us, what do they experience? Do they feel protected or frustrated? Do they feel respected or ignored? Do they feel served or delayed? Because ultimately, that is the standard by which we will be judged. And that is the responsibility we must all carry, together as a sector and individually as public officers. Ladies and gentlemen, having outlined our responsibilities and the expectations placed upon us, we must now confront a difficult but necessary reality. There are internal challenges within this sector, issues that are well known, well documented, and most importantly, with our own control, that continue to undermine performance, erode public trust, and taint the image of our security services. So, kwa ukweli ni lazima tujiangalie kwa ukweli. Allow me to highlight some of these critical issues. Issue number one, ladies and gentlemen, is corruption within the service. The evidence is clear and consistent. According to the Kenyan Bravery Index 2025 by Transparency International, nearly 1 in every 4 Kenyans encounter a bribery situation, and of those, about 70% paid a bribe. More concerning is that almost 40% of all reported bribes were paid to the police, and there is a 72% likelihood that a citizen interacting with the police will face a bribery demand. This is not a perception alone. It is a lived experience. It directly undermines justice, fairness, and public trust. So really the few officers, very few indeed, that continue to demand bribes are the people who will, at the end of the day, make the service and any other sector be seen as a sector that is riddled with corruption and bribery. So the few officers should be put on notice so that the image of the service and the entire sector is restored. The concern number 2 is entrenched public perception of corruption. Public confidence in the sector has been significantly eroded. Surveys show that up to 75% of Kenyans perceive the police as the most corrupt institution in the country, while broader studies indicate that 3 out of 4 citizens believe most or all officers are corrupt. Once trust is lost at this level, every action, no matter how genuine, is viewed with suspicion. Issue number 3 is collusion and complicity with criminal elements. There are credible and growing concerns of officers, and very few of them, aiding, abetting, or turning a blind eye to criminal activity. This includes leakages of operational information, selective enforcement, and interference with due process. Such action do not just weaken operations, they embolden criminal networks and compromise national security itself. The 4th concern is weak investigations and case attrition. A significant number of cases fail not because of lack of evidence, but because of poor investigations, weak documentation, and compromised handling of exhibits. This leads to cases collapsing in court, allowing offenders to walk free. The result is a cycle where arrests do not translate into conviction and justice is neither seen or felt. Concern number 5 is breakdown in the criminal justice chain. I mean failure to close the loop. There is a persistent disconnect between arrest, investigation, prosecution, and final case outcomes. Files are incomplete, evidence is not properly managed, and follow-through is inconsistent. When one stage fails, the entire process collapses. The consequence is clear. Criminals return to the streets and the public loses confidence in the system's ability to protect them. Issue number 6 is siloed operations and poor interconnectivity. Despite operating within one sector, units and agencies often function in isolation. Intelligence is not shared in time, operations are not sufficiently coordinated, and systems do not communicate effectively. This fragmentation weakens response, reduces efficiency, and creates gaps that are exploited by criminal elements. Issue number 7 is unprofessional conduct and poor public interface. There are continued reports of citizens being treated with indifference, hostility, or delay when seeking services. In many instances, complainants are not attended to promptly, feedback is not provided, and cases are not followed through. This creates a perception of a system that is inaccessible, unresponsive, and at times unjust. Issue number 8 is weak accountability mechanisms. Where misconduct or failure occurs, consequences are not always swift or visible. This creates an environment where inefficiency, negligence, or malpractice can persist. Without clear accountability, standards decline, and discipline is weakened. Ladies and gentlemen, these are not external pressures, as you have seen. All of them are internal. These are internal weaknesses that are within our reach, our forte, to turn it around and correct. And unless we address them decisively at both the individual and institutional level, we will continue to see the same outcomes: reduced public trust, ineffective service delivery, and a system that does not fully meet its mandate. Haya ni mambo ambayo yako ndani yetu na ambayo tunaweza na lazima tuyarekebishe. Na kwa wale ambao hawaelewi maana ya huduma kwa raia, or who are not prepared to serve with professionalism, integrity, and accountability, then it is time to take honest reflection and, where necessary, to separate from the service, to separate from government, and allow those who are ready and committed to serve to take up that responsibility. As a government, we are intentionally building a public service that is disciplined, responsive, and result-driven. A public service that delivers premium services to the wananchi qualitatively, quantitatively, and timelessly, and in full conformity with the values and principles set out under Article 232 of the Constitution of Kenya. These includes high standards of professional ethics, accountability, transparency, and responsive service delivery. So kwa ukweli hakuna nafasi ya uzembe wala huduma duni katika mfumo tunaoijenga. Ladies and gentlemen, having outlined our responsibilities, we must now turn to a critical issue that directly affect our effectiveness as a sector, and that is coordination and interconnectivity. What we are seeing in many instances is breakdown along this chain. A report is made, but response is delayed. An arrest is conducted, but the investigation is weak. A file is opened, but it is incomplete. A case is taken to court, but it collapses due to poor preparation or lack of evidence. And in the end, the offender walks free, not because they are innocent, but because the system did not work as it should. And when that happens, the consequences are serious. As I said earlier, criminals return to streets, victims lose confidence, communities feel unprotected, and the credibility of the entire sector is diminished. This is a failure of coordination. It means that one part of the system may be working, but another is not. It means that responsibility is not being carried through from beginning to end. It means that processes are not being completed. We must move away from this. Information and intelligence must be shared in real time. Officers handling arrests must work closely with those responsible for investigations. Investigations must be aligned with prosecutorial requirements. Supervisors must ensure that cases are complete, accurate, and ready for the next stage. Kwa kweli hakuna sehemu kasi inapaswa kuachwa njiani. We want to ensure that we do things from beginning to end successfully, efficiently, and also effectively. We must operate as one system with one purpose and one outcome: effective service delivery and justice for the citizen. Because the public does not see separate units, departments, or agencies. They see one government, and they judge us not by our internal arrangements, but by whether the job is done. If a case fails at any point, the entire system is seen to have failed. Closing the loop is the difference between efforts and results. It is the difference between activity and impact. And it is the difference between a system that appears to work and that actually delivers services. The issues we are discussing today, and that is performance, coordination, accountability, and service delivery, are not isolated concerns. They are central to the vision and direction of this administration under the leadership of His Excellency the President. From the outset, the administration set out clear agenda through the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, a commitment to transform how government works and how it delivers services to the people. At its core, better is about the mwananchi. It's about ensuring that government is not distant, not slow, and not unresponsive, but it works efficiently, delivers service in a timely manner, and responds to the real needs of citizens. For this vision to succeed, the public service must function effectively. And within that, the security sector plays a foundational role. Without security, there can be no meaningful development. Without safety, there cannot be investments. Without order, there can be no stability. Every pillar of the economy, whether it is agriculture, business, infrastructure, or social services, depend on a secure and predictable environment. That means your role is strategic. It is central to the success of national development agenda. And because of this, the expectations placed on this sector are higher. We must ensure that service delivery is efficient, that processes work seamlessly, that coordination is effective, and that results are visible to the public. The mwananchi must not just hear about government, they must experience it through the quality of service they receive. Collectively, we must operate as a sector that is disciplined, accountable, and results-driven. So what is the way forward? It is for us to reset. It is for us to get discipline back to the form. And it is us to ensure that we are accountable on everything that we do, how we handle our work, how we relate with our colleagues, how we coordinate ourselves, and how also we ensure that the service and all state agencies that are today in this meeting are efficiently resourced and efficiently run to ensure that mwananchi is at the center of their service provision. So having honestly confronted these challenges, we must now be equally clear about the way forward. What is required is a reset, a deliberate and sustained shift in how we think, how we act, and how we deliver as a sector. This reset must begin with discipline. Discipline in conduct, discipline in decision-making, discipline in how we execute our duties on a daily basis. Kwa sababu bila nidhamu, hatuwezi kufanikiwa. Every institution and officer must understand that the authority they hold is a public trust. It is not to be misused. It is not to be compromised. And it is not to be exercised selectively. This reset must also be anchored on personal responsibility. Each one of us must take ownership of our role, not partial responsibility, but full responsibility. From the moment a task is assigned to the point where it is completed, there must be clarity, commitment, and follow through. We must move away from a culture where responsibility is passed, where processes stall, and where outcomes are unclear. Every action must lead to a result. At the same time, we must strengthen collective accountability as a sector. No unit can operate in isolation. No officer can succeed alone. The system must function as one, coordinated, aligned, and focused on outcomes. Where one part fails, the entire system is affected. That is why accountability must be shared and standards must be upheld across the board. Ladies and gentlemen, this reset also requires zero tolerance for misconduct, corruption, collusion, negligence, and unprofessional conduct cannot be accommodated, not in small measure, not occasionally, and not under any circumstances. Hakuna makosa ya makusudi. Where misconduct occurs, action must be taken swiftly, decisively, and consistently. This is not about punishment for its own sake. It is about protecting the integrity of the service and restoring public trust. At the same time, good performance must be recognized, supported, and sustained. Officers who demonstrate professionalism, integrity, and commitment must be encouraged and empowered to lead by example. I want also to end by thanking all of us for putting in a lot of extra effort in trying to ensure that this country is safe from criminals, from lawlessness, from drug abuse, and from, more importantly, from even firearms falling under wrong hands. I want to echo personally and thank the Inspector General of Police and his deputies and all the commanders of all the formations, the GSU, the DCI, and all units under you for working very hard under very difficult circumstances that sometimes we also see and appreciate. I want also to commend all the officers who have said no to corruption, no to bribery, no to indolence, no to procrastination, and no to abuse, not only of power, but of alcohol and drugs. And I want to encourage those perhaps who have drifted to spaces of areas that are not right. Those who have become alcoholic, those who have challenges, either mental health and other challenges, to assure them that there is still room to return to the fold and to ensure that you live to the oath of office that you took, you live by the training that you underwent, either in your training college or several other trainings that you have undergone, because for sure, all the trainings, all the support, all the mentorship that you are always given is to do the right thing. I want all of us to also agree that small things like bribery has totally brought a very gloomy and a dark perception, especially on our police service. Very embarrassing and very unfortunate. I want to ask all of us, those who are in this virtual meeting, either individually or in groups, that we value the service you offer. But then let us not let the few elements to spoil the image and confidence that people of Kenya have in you. As I sit here, I have been a victim of several attempts by the traffic. I always like to drive myself over the weekends alone, and I've been stopped Not once, almost 3 times. And you find an officer walking to you, and they walk to me, and telling me that I have committed a traffic offense. And if you want me, or if you want you to go to wherever you are going without wasting time, you have to give 1,000 shillings or 2,000 shillings. I've experienced myself. Not once, I think twice or 3 times. Just imagine. How about those other people? I have experienced myself personally. So I want all of us, right from the IG down to the last person, to the constable, please let us be satisfied with the little money that we get, that salary that you are getting. If you plan well, if you invest very well, for sure God will multiply and will make you be able to run your own errands, make sure that you support your families, your relatives, and even the villages where you come from. This bribery has destroyed most of us, right from stations, along the roads, even in offices, even in my own office, ladies and gentlemen, like Arambe House. More times I hear that one policeman or the other has asked for chai, baridi sana, with the weekend, karibu weekend, the Friday, and those people come to report to me. But then you wonder now, what a shame, how low should we sink? So I want to urge all of us, this is a chance to turn. Let us turn around how we run things. Let us be very efficient. Let us be professional, and let us complete our investigations for those investigators, and let us handle people with dignity, and let us be people who abide by the law, people who are patriots, and people who mean well for themselves, for their own, and for the country. It is the desire of the president to transform this country from the third world where we are to the first world. It cannot happen even if roads are built, even if skyscrapers are constructed, even if railways are constructed. If the software, the social part of it, the law and order, the elimination of corruption and bribery, if it is not done, the quick and efficient service delivery, the confidence, the trust on public servants, if that is not done, if that is not in place, infrastructure, structures will not make us to be the first world, because it will destroy the very spirit of those who want to sacrifice and work hard to ensure that we move forward. So I want to urge all of us to realize that we are part and parcel of this journey to Singapore. We are the soldiers. We are the people to support His Excellency the President. We need to portray, we need to exhibit, we need to show that the commitment the President made to Kenyans and the focus and resolution or resolute desire that he has mobilized all of us is realized, and it will be realized in the shortest time possible. If all of us, right from the constable to the top, all the officers of NACADA, all the officers of firearms, all the officers of NGO board, the current, there's a name there, all officers of private security, all those parastatals under Interior, please let us decide in one accord and say no to wrong things and yes to positive things, and let us support the president, and let us support this government, and let us be selfless to ensure that this country is developed to a level where when we are living to other generations, they will say there were men and women who got the responsibility or the privilege of leading this country, and they did very well, that they also would want the country to be in the next level. So in conclusion, this is a moment for this sector to reaffirm its standards, to recommit to professionalism, and to restore discipline, and to deliver service in a manner that reflects the expectations of the Constitution and the trust of the people. And to me, ninaamini inawezekana na lazima iwezekane. For those few remarks, I want to thank each and every officer, every public servant who struggled. I know we had challenges. Every public servant who struggled and arrived at this virtual meeting and informed them that you are officers that we are relying on. You are that critical cog in this coordinated engine, a system that has taken a trajectory to make our country successful and to make us be proud of our hard labor. Asanteni sana. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much for those remarks. The Chief of Staff and Head of the Public Service, Mr. Felix Koskei. I say that because we have members, sir, who are logged in both on this Zoom webinar and others who have joined us on the YouTube side. Some of whom who've remarked that it's their first time to interact with you in a forum like this and to be able to hear you speak, and they're grateful for that opportunity. Thank you also to the Madam Beverly Opora, who made the remarks on behalf of the Principal Secretary for the State Department, Dr. Raymond Omolo. Great appreciation also and gratitude to Mr. Douglas Kanja Kirocho, who is the IG of Police, of the National Police Service, and also to our Principal Administrative Secretary in the Executive Office of the President, Mr. Arthur Osia, for being able to welcome guests into this meeting. So at this point, I just want to repeat, for the sake of those who've joined us and perhaps did not hear the protocols for this meeting, and bring to your attention that at the bottom of your screen, you have several icons at the bottom of your screen. One of them is the Q&A section. We are asking that you are able to put your questions on the Q&A section and look out for the responses in the chat section. We have a big team from the Office of the IG, a big team from the State Department, and its various agencies who are on standby to be able to respond to your questions. And just also to let you know that after this meeting, all these questions in the Q&A section will be downloaded and then given to the various departments and agencies for them to further process and issue further information or guidance to yourself. We also want to say that it's important that you introduce yourself in the chat section by stating your name, your designation, and where you're logged in from, so that we can be able to tally those figures together with the registration on the Google form. Remember to register on the Google form that can be found on the website of the Chief of Staff and Head of the Public Service. It's important to do this because after this session, we usually send all the training material, all the material that has been used, including the speech of the Chief of Staff and Head of the Public Service, that of the PS, and that of the IG, together with presentations that will be made, and the recording of this particular session will be sent to you at the email addresses that you have used to register. We appreciate all those who are gathered, of course, in groups and individually. And we say karibu to you all from all the different agencies that are here. I just want to be able to draw your attention also to the fact that the Chief of Staff and Head of the Public Service is on social media. You can find him under the name Felix Koskei, Koskei, on Facebook, on X, and on TikTok. And of course, as we are having this conversation here on Zoom, we have others who have joined us on the YouTube, and they do so through the name of the Chief of Staff and Head of the Public Service, and you can be able to find them there. Remember also, we are circulating the number in the chat section that you can use to send your selfies and also pictures of yourself in groups. Thank you, GVCU, Madam Jane Kuria and your team. We have seen you following this conversation. And we also have others who are sat in groups, and this include the officers at Nyacheki Police Station in Kisii. We have Temoyeta Police Station in Kuresoi North, and then the Border Police Training Campus in Kitui County. We also see you, George Karisa from NACADA, Nairobi County, APC Kuruilaban in Nakuru County, Rongai Sub-County. I say this so that you can be able to know that we are logged in from many, many different parts of this country. IP Ernest Kinywa, Kirinyaga County, Kirinyaga Central Sub-County, Collins Erimba from CPC Records Kilifi. We have Harrison Kimatu, National Police Service Air Wing, Wilson Airport. And we have Purity Njerin Thiga following or, joined in this session from Kiganjo Police Station. We have Thomas Olo, whose duty station is Inspector of Police. His duty station is Kwanza County, Trans Nzoia. And we have a group that is following from Muranga South Administration Police Service Group, including SP Marian Hussein, IP Isaac Musikoyo, IP Purity Gaki, APC Jess Kanjeri, and so forth and so on. This is to let you know that from our end, we can be able to see those who have logged in, and we appreciate your presence here. As the Chief of Staff and Head of the Public Service indicated, the interdependence of each of the entities who are logged in here for this meeting, just remembering that the theme of this meeting is our collective responsibility as public officers in implementing the constitutional values and principles of public service. We are also looking at improving performance and efficiency to optimal levels and providing premier services to the public qualitatively, quantitatively, and timelessly. So if you have a friend who is on duty and is not able to join us in this meeting right now, we would just like to draw your attention to the fact that this will be sent to you via your email addresses. And as the IG was able to say earlier on, as well as Madam Opora from the State Department, that in further meetings called by yourselves, and you'll be able to have opportunity to discuss these issues further. And so without further ado, I'd like to welcome the following individuals who will be making brief presentations so that we can be able to get to the plenary section. There'll be a plenary section where, anybody who wants to make a remark, there'll be a short window that will be opened for that particular purpose. And we encourage you, when the time comes, to use the section at the bottom which says, raise your hand to be able to, and you'll be seen and then you'll be enabled. So we continue with this meeting, and I call upon my colleague, Mr. Collins Kiprono, to be able to make some comments about the theme for this meeting. He'll be followed by Mr. Michael M. Nyaga, who is the AIG, Director Communications from the National Police Service, who will then be followed by Mr. Jacob Narengo, EBS, the Principal Administrative Secretary from Internal Security. And this will then usher us into a session of remarks from the various representatives. And my co-moderator, Madam Banis Sialat Lemedeket, is going to be able to take over from there and guide us from that point. So in the order in which I have called, Mr. Collins Kiprono, Mr. Michael M. Nyaga, Mr. Jacob Narengo, and then this will usher us on to Madam Banis Sialai Lemedeket to be able to take over. So we thank you very much, and we continue with this meeting. Karibu Collins.
Thank you very much, Dr. Linda Musumba. the Chief of Staff and the Head of Public Service, the Inspector General of Police and his respective deputies, all the service commanders, and all the protocols already established. Good morning. Distinguished participants, colleagues from State Department for Internal Security and National Administration, the leadership and the different institutions, it's my honor this morning to make a presentation on behalf of the Office of the Chief of Staff and the Head of Public Service, just to set context on this virtual engagement that we're having this morning. This presentation, honorable colleagues, is made from the institutional perspective of the Office of the Chief of Staff and the Head of Public Service, whose role is to support the organization, coordination, and the effectiveness in the execution of government business. That is across public service that entails all of us. This role is anchored under Article 132(3)(b) of the Constitution, which gives the President, you can put up the presentation, that is the PowerPoint, which gives the President the responsibility to direct and coordinate the functions of the ministries and state departments. And when you go down to Section 7 of the National Government Coordination Act, it establishes the Office of the Head of Public Service under the Executive Office of the President. And further, this office is espoused under Executive Order number 1 of 2025, which gives the operational expression to the functions of the Chief of Staff and the Head of Public Service. When you go to this Executive Order number 1 of 2025, it provides eight functions of the Office of the Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service. But now, for the purpose of this webinar, I'll do a deep dive on 6 of those functions, being the ones that are most directly connected to the matters that pertains these particular functions. Now, the constitutional values and principles of the Constitution, the theme, this particular webinar has a 3-pronged thematic approach. That is the constitutional values and principles of the public service. That is the performance and efficiency of the public service, and the ultimate timely performance of this particular function. So please put up the presentation so that our colleagues will be able to follow up. Now, these 6 functions that I've spoken about, the first function of the Office of the Chief of Staff and the Head of Public Service is that he is the administrative head of the Executive Office of the President. This is expressly provided under Section 7 of the National Government Coordination Act. And in that capacity, yes, you can follow through now. I'm on the second slide. Now, in that capacity, this office sits at the center of the presidency and supports the orderly functioning of the Executive Office of the President. The second function, as you can see, is the exercising of the high-level coordination and stewardship across all the public entities. That means across the entire public service. This again is a function that is done on behalf of the President to secure the proper organization and coordination of government business. The office supports the President in facilitating and organizing and execution of government business, and in a sense that helps and ensures coherence, alignment, and orderly functioning across the ministries, state departments, and all the public entities, including the ones espoused under the Ministry of Interior. The third function is to promote ethics, good governance, efficiency, and effectiveness in the provision of public services through the deployment of the appropriate skills and values and leadership. This is one of the most critical functions, colleagues, within the public service, as it ensures the dimensions within the entire public service is done in an orderly fashion, and skill sets are provided for a particular function. It places this office at the center of efforts to strengthen the aspects of integrity, the aspects of leadership, competence, and execution of discipline within the public administration. The people seated in this meeting are people from the discipline forces, so you understand how this is executed. The fourth function is the transmittal of the executive directives, orders, presidential proclamation to all the different ministries, state organs, state departments, agencies, This is done to ensure that there is proper information which has been cascaded, there is proper implementation, and other necessary actions that pertain the particular directives as may have originated. This function is critical as well because it links the presidential direction to institutional follow-through across government. It's one of the practical ways in which and in how the executive authority is translated into administrative action. The fifth function is the issue of transmittal of policy and administrative advisories, including circulars to the public service, as it may originate from the executive office of the president. But you note that we receive different circulars. These circulars originate from the Ministry of Interior. These circulars originate from the Office of the Inspector General. These circulars originate from the Police Service Commission. These circulars originate from the Public Service Commission, the National Treasury, the State Law Office, depending on the context. So all of us appreciate that these circulars are there to provide guidance where there are gray areas or communicate newfound information that there is need to be able to communicate to ensure that services are rendered in a timely manner. The sixth function of the Office of the Chief of Staff and the Head of Public Service is to provide the stewardship for the general efficiency and coordination and effectiveness in the functioning of the public service. So the official public service administration materials describe the office as being the responsible for the general efficiency of the public service and coordination of the activities to all the public servants and the overall organization of the machinery that is government. In practical terms, colleagues, this places the office within the chain of responsibility for ensuring the public administration function are effectively and coherently done in a manner that supports the results that are citizen-centric, results that ensure the citizens are content with the services that are being rendered. These functions are directly relevant, colleagues, to today's agenda, as the leadership speaks to the institutional order and lawful administration. And while at the same time, the coordination of government business speaks to the performance, speaks to the coherence and execution of the discipline and promotion of constitutional values and principles. You can go to the next slide. For the interest of today's presentation, I'll be making context to the three thematic areas that I've spoken about. And the first one is the implementation of the constitutional values and principles of public service and the legal requirements under statutes. Colleagues, we should note that the constitutional and statutory standards guide all public institutions. Even for the sake of the police, they have the police standing orders. These police standing orders they act as a guide. Sisi wote tunajua ya kwamba sheria imewezesha kujua ni nini ambalo tunatakana kufanya, jinsi ambayo tunatakana kutekeleza hayo uwajibikaji. Na hayo uwajibikaji iko katika sheria, na hiyo sheria utapatana iko katika Constitution ya Kenya 2010, utapatana nayo katika the different regimes that have originated from bunge, that is the different pieces of legislation that guide whatever we do. And when you look at the Constitution, when you go to the Constitution, Article 10, kipengee ya 10 katika katiba yetu inasema ya kwamba lazima kukuwe na sheria, the rule of law that needs to be implemented in a manner that espouses the human dignity. Inasisitiza yale kutekeleza sheria kwa jinsi ambayo inakuwa na utu na inakuwa na ile uwezo ya kuzingatia kila moja wetu, that is inclusiveness and integrity. Integrity is ensuring that all of us perform our duties in a manner that performs highest attainable standards in a transparency and accountability manner. When you go to Article 47, it speaks to expeditious, efficient, lawful, and reasonable procedural to fair. So this Article 47 speaks to ensuring that all our mandate, as we are undertaking them, are done in a manner that speaks into the responsiveness and efficiency manner. When you go to Article 73, Article 73 provides for authority assigned to state officer is done with public trust. We should understand, and we need to emphasize, as the Chief of Staff and the Head of Public Service has stated, that the citizens do not trust the public service. The citizens do not trust the public servants, including ourselves here. So we should make it our mandate to earn this particular trust, so that when they see a police officer, they know a police officer is there to serve their mandate. Polisi ako hapo kushughulikia mwananchi wa kawaida. Polisi hayuko hapo kutishia, but ako hapo kuensure that anashughulikia the civil servants at length and the mwananchi. When you go down to Article 232 of the Constitution, it sets out the values and principles of public service, which includes the high standards of professional ethics. These, while public servants are rendering their mandate, should be done to the highest professional standards, efficient, and they should be economic use of the resources. And these services at the same time should be responsible, they should be equitable and accountable to the administrative acts, and the same should be rendered in a timely manner, in a way that these services are accurate and they provide information to the public. Go to the next slide. Now, the second limb of our presentation this morning is the improvement of the performance and efficiency to optimal levels. Now, this second concern is on performance and efficiency to optimal levels. In this sector, colleagues, improvement of our performance and efficiency to optimal levels means ensuring that all our institutions do not operate in silos. Number one, the responses and systems that are there are timely and coordinated, and that public resources are used prudently, and accountability mechanisms supports the results, so that while we are rendering our services, the results is also factored in while performing our mandate. It also means that there should be a strengthening of professional ethical leadership and operation readiness, so that we are always available to respond, and these responses are done at the fastest possible ways that we can humanly do. And importantly as well, and we need to underscore, colleagues, is the use of data and technology, so that institutions can deliver their mandate with greater speed. They should be able to deliver with quality and effectiveness. And we are happy that even within the National Police Service, the technology is being embraced in a huge way, and that is why you find even when signals are being issued, they have been able to embrace technology. And even the OB, nowadays there is the OB that is digitized, so that people can be able to report the OB, and there's data that can be tracked even 10, 20 years down the line. You can always know, because all of us know that while conducting investigations under the Criminal Procedure Code, criminal investigations are not bound by time, like the way it is for tort, the way it is for contract, which provides for 12 years. So that even a murder can still be investigated 15, 20 years down the line, and the OB and the records are digitized. And when you look at the data, colleagues, Kenya National Bureau of Statistics have noted that around 115,000 crimes have been reported by 2023, showing a scale of security of law enforcement burden, and the public has trust with the police. Because if we get to a place where there is no crimes being reported, and people have taken law up onto their own hands, it shows a broken society, a society that does not trust the police. But this is a very interesting sector, where once we see more cases, more crimes being reported, it shows the belief system people have with the police. And when you go to the IPOA's January-June 2024 performance report, it shows that it received about 1,943 complaints, and 597 investigations were conducted and completed, with 723 detention facilities and police premises monitored, and about 38 police operations which have attained 4 convictions during that 1-year period. So it speaks to the institutions which are working, institutions that are taking into cognizance the interests of the citizens. Go to the last slide, second last slide, I should believe. That is the provision of premier services to the public in a qualitative, quantitative, and a timely manner. This third concern, colleagues, is the provision of premier services to the public in a qualitative, quantitative, and in a timely manner. Even in the security and administration space, this remains a service question. Citizens meet these institutions when they report crime, when they seek protection, and when they require forensic support to be rendered. And at the same time, when they apply for the licenses within the different regulatory agencies within this sector, and they expect in the same breath oversight of the police action. And they face risks linked with the drug abuse, because substance and drug abuse remain one of the teething issues that we continue to face as a country. But the only place where they can be able to report this as well is within this sector that we are having a session with this morning. So the state, to respond to these emerging issues, including the cyber threat issues, therefore, as institutions within this sector, we should be able to provide, we should be able to act and provide services that are lawful, but also be prompt and professional and fair while undertaking this particular function. Again, when you look at the empirical data, the picture sharpens at this point, because when you look at NACADA's 2022 national survey, it found that 18% of Kenyans between 15 and 65 had at least used one drug or substance abuse in the past month when they were conducting that survey. The same survey found that in that past month when they were conducting the survey, alcohol stood at 12%, and that 1 in every 20 Kenyans between, again, 15 and 65 years was addicted to alcohol. And while about 1 in every 30 was addicted to tobacco. Colleagues, you note that this issue of alcohol and drug and substance abuse is now even in our doorstep. At least each one of us, in one or the other, a family member, a friend, someone well known to us is turning out to be an addict. What are the mechanisms that we are putting in place to be able to curb this particular vice? And that is the discussion, that is the candid discussion that should be a going concern, and we should be able to proffer the solutions as we deem fit. You notice the issue of the cyber and digital security dimension is equally significant, because it is we are in a space where technology is with us. We happen to be in a country that has one of the highest internet penetration. So technology is here with us. And when you look at the Communications Authority national report, about 4.59 billion cyber threats have been detected between the month of April and June 2025. In that period alone, it shows how big cyber threat is becoming. It's likely even to overtake down the road the issue of terrorism. This shows that cyber coordination is no longer a peripheral technical matter. It is at the core of national security and public administration issue. So when crime volumes remain high, and when the police are accountable to the mechanisms of processing these large complaints caseload, which I've spoken to, when substance abuse remains a major national burden, and when cyber threat are rising at a scale, the public service cannot afford to be a fragmented authority. And as highlighted by the Chief of Staff and the Head of Public Service, it requires a concerted effort, a strong coordination into lawful exercise of authority and ethical leadership. And at the same time, this cannot be done without timely transmission of these directives and coherent circular guidance, and ensuring that these circulars are not just on paper, but they are implemented. Because you notice props should be given to the office of the Inspector General. Their timely dissemination through the office of the spokesperson in that office of issues that need to be understood even by the public. When you look at the office of the Director of Criminal Investigations, through their platforms, that is X, through their platforms of Facebook and the press that they've done, they are able to speak to the public, because we have a challenge of having a public that is woke. We have a public that know their rights. We have a public that would easily go for a mandamano if their issues are not addressed. So what are we saying as an office, that is the office of the Chief of Staff and the Head of Public Service, that in conclusion, you can go to the last page. In conclusion, this engagement is important because it sits at the intersection of the law at the intersection of security and at the intersection of public administration to be able to earn the citizen trust, which is at the all-time low, as I've stated. The institutions present, colleagues, are among those through which the state is most visibly judged. Because you notice when people need to churn out their anger, when people need to churn out their fears, they cannot do that without mentioning the institutions that are found within the security sector. So the challenge before us is therefore not merely a presence, mandate, and clarity, but to ensure that the mandate is exercised in a lawful, efficient, ethical, and in a manner that delivers services to the public in a timely manner, because we are likely to be the most visible entity. We are likely to be the entity that the public interacts with, because that police officer is likely to be the person that has met with the public more times than even big agencies like, let's say, the Ministry of Agriculture or Ministry of Mining. So we hold the biggest responsibility to ensure that we work to ensure that we've earned the trust of the public. So from the perspective of the Office of the Chief of Staff and the Head of Public Service, that is what effectiveness and in this sector would mean in a high level. And with that, I look forward to an engagement with all of us to be able to shed light and proffer solutions that would go in a long way into delivering services and in a manner that the citizens can be able to trust us again. Thank you very much. My name is Felix Koskei, the Secretary of Legal Affairs at the Office of the Chief of Staff and the Head of Public Service. I wish to call on the next presenter just to pick up from where I'd left. Thank you very much, colleagues.
Mr. Michael Nyaga, AIG Director, Communications from the National Police Service. Thank you for that information. We move on to the next presenter, Mr. Jacob Narengo, the Principal Administrative Secretary from Internal Security. Kindly come on and make your presentation. We shall give an opportunity to Mr. Michael Nyaga immediately after yourself, once they've resolved the issue that they're having a problem with.
Thank you, Dr. Linda. Who is presenting the slides, please? Thank you very much, Dr. Linda. My name is Jacob Narengo, Principal Administrative Secretary, Internal Security. I'll be giving a presentation outline of the State Department. First, I will start with the overview of the State Department of Internal Security and National Administration. That is the organizational structure, institutions, directorates, regulatory authorities under it, and then independent bodies and the functions of the State Department. Then I'll also highlight on key deliverables or achievements of the State Department, strategic priorities, and lessons learned, challenges, and of course, I'll do a conclusion thereafter. Next slide, please. That is the overview of the State Department or the organizational structure. You can all see there that at the very top is the Office of the Cabinet Secretary. And then below the Cabinet Secretary, we have the Office of the Principal Secretary, Internal Security and National Administration. Of course, the Principal Secretary deputized by the Principal Administrative Secretary, National Administration, and then Principal Administrative Secretary, Internal Security. And then, of course, below there are directorates. Those ones are self-explanatory. Maybe I'll go straight to the sagas. The sagas under the State Department. The sagas under the organizational structure. We have the National Crime Research Center, the NGO Coordination Board, NACADA, Firearms Licensing Board, Kenya Coast Guard Service, National Cohesion and Integration Commission, that is NCIC, and then Private Security Regulatory Authority. So, overview of the State Department in brief. The State Department for Internal Security and National Administration, as per Executive Order number 1 of 2023, is made up of 8 directorates, 4 regulatory authorities, 3 independent bodies, and 5 institutions, as underlined there. Among the directorates, we have National Administration, which handles Field Administration and Field Services Directorate, Policy Research and Partnership Directorate, Government Reception and State Functions Directorate, and then Peace Building and Conflict Management. Under Internal Security, we have Internal Security Management and Operations Directorate, Border Management Secretariat, and then National Focal Points on Small Arms and Light Weapons. Next slide, please. Still under overview of the State Department, we have Administrative Services Directorate as shown there. Of course, under regulatory authorities, as also displayed there. I will go straight to key deliverables. Key deliverables of the State Department. Key deliverables of the State Department. Yeah. The State Department is proud to mention that as a State Department, number 1, we've been able to strengthen service delivery at the grassroots level. As you know, our NGOs are at 8 regions. 8 regions, 3 sub-regions, especially for Nairobi region, and then 46 counties. 46 counties. And then we have 441 sub-counties in the Republic as of now, 12 divisions, 22 locations, and 9,574 sub-locations. In total, there are 1034 administrative units that the government has so far operationalized. These include 3 sub-regions in Nairobi County, Nairobi City County, 42 sub-counties, 122 divisions, 414 locations, and 453 sub-locations. Yet to be operationalized administrative units are 128 divisions, 960 locations, and 2366 sub-locations. Among another key deliverable is the strengthened management of public complaints. At the State Department, a dedicated team was established in accordance with the guidelines of the Commission on Administrative Justice, has so far attained a score of 81%, indicating very good during the 2024-2025 financial year. Under trainings, so many officers have also been trained. Many officers have been trained. Many officers have been trained. Ngao officers have been trained, a total of 58, 92 chiefs, the biggest in history of the Republic, assistant chiefs and chiefs, and then 1268 officers for DPA. Under trainings, as a key deliverable, there was a serious backlog in paralegal training of chiefs and assistant chiefs. And then the fourth deliverable is citizen engagement on security, nationwide rollout of Jukwaa la Usalama that was led by Ebo CS. This Jukwaa la Usalama has strengthened trust, early warning, and community-led conflict prevention across counties. Deliverable number 5, we have been able to develop the national government village administration policy. This policy basically seeks to formalize and recognize the role of village elders in our counties. And then we've also been able to develop the National Government Coordination Administrative Unit regulations, which are pending publications. These particular regulations are going to help in ensuring that there is uniformity and efficiency in government operations in as far as creation of administrative units are concerned. The State Department has also managed to launch the draft public benefits regulations of the PIBORA. The PSRA has also drafted private security regulations, which are on course. And then the government chemist has also launched the Chemical, Biological, and Radiological National Action Plan. Our agency, through NACADA, has launched the first ever national policy on prevention, management, control, and of drug abuse in the country. Under security sector reforms, as a key deliverable number 6, the State Department is coordinating NPS, KPS, and NYS reforms. These processes are reflected in better terms of enhanced institutional effectiveness, professionalism, and accountability. We have also been able to launch the National Government Administrative Police Unit, which is aimed at strengthening grassroots security and support functions of the Ngao chiefs and assistant chiefs at their administrative levels. The State Department also has been able to review the Northeastern Security Plan and Operational Money Bonding, which is aimed at stabilization of the high-risk terrorism-affected areas in Northeastern and Coast region. Key deliverable number 7, conflict management and peace building gains. Next slide on key deliverable number 7 of the State Department. Through conflict management and peace building gains, the National Steering Committee on Peace Building, of course, led by our able peers, has been able to sign an historic Gabra-Dasanach Peace Accord in Ileret Sub-County within Marsabit County. We have also been able to revitalize local peace committees through structured training and mediation process. The State Department also, through Director of Peace Building, was able to review the peace building architecture that has managed to shape Kenya's peace building agenda. Through the National Focal Point on Small Arms and Light Weapons, we've been able to facilitate the collection of illicit firearms through voluntary surrender, where over 40,000 illicit firearms have been collected and destroyed. On border management, deliverable number 8, we have been able to access completion of one-stop border port at Swam in Trans Nzoia County. The BMS has established and operationalized border management committees and joint operation centers in designated POEs to facilitate real-time coordination and joint decision-making. The Kenya Coast Guard Service, so far, 3811 offenses have been deterred by the Kenya Coast Guard Service. This has helped in maritime violation identified and documented, and individuals have been apprehended. And Kenya Coast Guard also has managed to conduct 8,000 patrols across coastal waters and inland waters of Lake Victoria, Lake Turkana, Naivasha, Baringo, and Jipe. Key deliverable number 10 is on electronic e-government, government procurement system. This particular deliverable has enabled the State Department progress in EGP implementation and compliance in line with the presidential and national treasury directives. Key deliverable number 11 on government projects and programs. A total of 45 projects have been fully completed to date by the State Department. This includes 24 sub-counties, divisional, locational, and security roads, while the construction of 31 sub-county and divisional offices are ongoing. The State Department also has been able to design a model office design for Ngao, and once this is approved, this will be adopted and replicated across the country in as far as creation of administrative units are concerned. On presidential directives, we have an effective, that's deliverable number 13. We have an effective tracking of presidential directives that are ongoing through the Presidential Management Information System as follows. As you can see from that chart, Directs should not upload in the systems. That is 13 at 10%. Directives in progress are 55. That is 40%. And directives completed so far by the State Department are 68, standing at 50%. A total of 136 directives. So when we, let's move to strategic priorities for 2026 and lesson learned going forward. Expediting follow-up on approval and implementation of national government village administration policy to fully operationalize government frameworks is expected to be finalized. And then number 2 is institutionalization of citizen-centric partnership by making Jukwaa la Usalama a permanent, measurable platform for public participation and accountability by the State Department. Consistent engagement with the regulatory authorities is an administrative strategy that the State Department endeavors to ensure that it enhances service delivery and feasibility of the sagas within the State Department. We endeavor to ensure that we have adopted a communication strategy, media engagement plan by regulatory authorities that will be aimed at ensuring that citizens are informed of what is happening by the State Department. We are also on course in as far as coordination of multi-agency committee on election security preparedness. The preparation for 2027 general elections remains a top priority in the State Department. Key challenges that we face as a State Department. Next slide on challenges. One of the challenges is policy development, which is normally a resource-intensive process due to constitutional requirements on public participation remains a challenge for the State Department. Sometimes we face delayed approval of pending policy regulations and amendments through the normal processes. We face a challenge in coordination gaps and duplication of roles among security agencies. And of course, we face delayed and irregular disbursement of AIEs to fund our field operations. Funding of stalled projects sometimes remain a challenge as far as the State Department is concerned, especially on completion of ongoing sub-county headquarters offices in the field stations. Chief guests and all who are listening, the State Department wishes to thank the government for the support given in as far as execution of its mandate is concerned. With those, I wish to submit and I thank you.
Our chief guest, who is the chief of staff and the head of public service, the IG National Police Service. Allow me to ride on the already established protocols. At the same time, I want to give a short presentation from the National Police Service, touching on 7 key thematic areas. But even before I do that, I personally thank the head of public service for very, very touching and impactful ones that he has shared with us this morning. And from the conversation that is had, there's Award there, a reset. The head of public service is telling us as members of the National Police Service to do a reset, accompanied by a strong dose of discipline. That way, I think you're going to be on a very, very good trajectory towards the service of Mwananchi. Let me also thank the IG for his powerful remarks this morning as well, as I embark on this presentation. Thank you so much. First and foremost, let me talk about the introduction. The introduction, we talk about the introduction, and the National Police Service is established very, very clearly under our Constitution, that is Article 43, as a professional, disciplined, and transparent, accountable service. It's under the command of the Inspector General. The National Police Service is also a national security organ under Section 239, 1C of the Constitution, and plays a key role in promoting, guaranteeing national security. We move on to the next slide. There you can see our mission, vision, motto, and core values. The motto particularly is about service with integrity. Then move on to the next slide. That is the organizational structure of the National Police Service, headed by the Inspector General, ably supported by the Secretary Administration and the Accounting Officer, together with our 2 DIGs and the DCI. Move on to the next slide. There you have, that's the top leadership of the National Police Service. We move on. Let's talk about the execution of mandate. Security is crucial for the socio-economic development, as envisioned in the our Constitution and Vision 2030, and also the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. In 2025, the National Police Service performed exceptionally well, significantly enhancing security and public safety. There are a lot of challenges related to the Gen Z euphoria, as we witnessed, but let it be noted that despite all those challenges, we had a decline in crime by over 5% compared to the year before. Move on to the next slide. Yeah, execution of mandate continued. This achievement can be attributed to sustained and coordinated intelligence-led policing efforts, close collaboration with other security agencies, strengthened community partnerships, and targeted interventions in high-risk areas. National Police Service continues to be guided by the Constitution and the 2023-2027 strategic plan. That is to transform our police stations and other service areas into centers of excellence. Looking ahead, the National Police Service is committed to addressing serious crimes such as terrorism, organized crime, illicit drugs, alcohol, weapons, and cattle rustling, among other emerging security challenges, with renewed focus and innovation. We move on. To revitalize and re-energize its officers towards enhancing service delivery to the public, the National Police Service has continuously deployed various strategies, which include, we move on to the next slide. Personnel. As seen in the year just gone, we were able to successfully recruit over 10,000 recruits that are already undergoing their training as we talk. 343 National Police Reservists have also joined the National Police Service, thereby augmenting and helping us to combat critical security threats, particularly in issues to do with budgetary, HSA. They have also undergone refresher courses. So the launch of GAPU, that is the National Government Administration Police Unit, is a transformative move that will play a pivotal role in deterring crime and promoting community policing efforts. The anti-narcotics unit has also been upgraded, and there are efforts to ensure that issues to do with the drugs and narcotics trade and misuse are contained once and for all, because those are really, really serious situations, serious crimes in this country. We move on to the next slide. Move on to the next slide, please. Right. Use of technology in policing. The National Police Service has used integrated command and control communication, that is IC3 Center, which is a centralized technology-driven nerve center. It integrates data, voice, and video communications from multiple sources to enable real-time situation awareness, coordinated response, and data-driven decision-making. It has enhanced the management and coordination of emergency response, surveillance, critical operations, and traffic management. The DCI, National Forensic Laboratory, has played a pivotal role in solving high-profile crimes, including terrorism, homicide, cybercrime, and sexual offenses, equipping law enforcement with vital investigative tools. Through collaboration and partnership, the National Police Service has consistently equipped the DCI National Forensic Laboratory with a wide range of modern digital forensic equipment. This investment has significantly increased the speed, accuracy, and efficiency of investigations and enhanced the ability to combat ever-evolving criminal networks. We go on? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. The public. Let's talk about enhanced local, regional, and international partnerships. As we all know, as National Police Service, we will not move too far if we don't have enhanced partnerships, either from regional and internationally. That's why we've to continue fostering and promoting relations with broader society. So it's one of the key objectives and function of the National Police Service is provided for in the Constitution. In pursuit of this function, the service has rolled out robust strategy of collaboration and partnership with communities, as well as with strategic national and international partners, including AFRIPOL, for which our Inspector General is the current president. Then we have IAPCO, we have Interpol, UNPOL, UNODC, among others. The National Police Service is one of the major police contributing countries in peacekeeping missions and peace support operations. This aims to build professional, efficient, and responsive police service that provides effective, people-centric, and accountable policing to foster a safe and prosperous society. We move on. Continuously promoting trust and police legitimacy through transparent and consistent messaging. When it comes to public communication and trust building, we have to have the enhancement of crisis communication and management by effectively managing crises and incidents, controlling the narrative, reducing misinformation, and providing fast updates. That's an area that has also been captured very well by Council Kiprono during his presentation. Effectively deployed social media to interact with stakeholders and show the humanity behind the badge. Improved internal information flow, citizen service charter, that is implementing clear publicly displayed service charters at police stations, detailing to the public exactly the kind of service they expect and how quickly they are supposed to get that service. So let me give a summary of achievements. The national crime rate, like I have already mentioned earlier, has declined by over 5% compared to the previous year. As of March 2026, the National Police Service achieved a 57.2% implementation of planned security sector reforms. We also know that we've played a key role in the Kenya Red Multinational Security Support, MSS mission, which was tasked with supporting the Haitian National Police, HNP, in combating gang violence, restoring public safety, and securing critical infrastructure. Successful nationwide recruitment exercise identifying qualified young Kenyans for enlistment. The Director of Criminal Investigations, Mr. Mohamed Amin, was elected as Africa's delegate to the Interpol Executive Committee. That on its own reaffirms the National Police Service resolve to assume a leading role in global policing. Accelerated implementation of legal, policy, administrative, institutional, and operational reforms, with particular attention to digitization, automation, modernization of equipment, salary reviews, living conditions, medical cover, housing, and other aspects of officer welfare. Let me mention about the MSS mission. It's been such a huge success as because of our participation in that mission that we've seen quite some strides, positive strides in that direction. We move on. We've also had the success in the multi-agency security model in Marsabit and North Rift and parts of Lamu. Onboarding of the National Police Service and the Kenya Prison Service into the Public Officers Medical Scheme, that is PMO SF. Dominance in various sports disciplines, including football, athletics, volleyball, among others. The launch of the second phase of the National Police Service e-learning program, which plays a critical role in fostering a culture of continuous learning within the service, equipping personnel with up-to-date knowledge, skills, and competencies required in a rapidly evolving policing environment. And this, of course, is derived from what happened during the COVID period, that we can be able to leverage on what is already existing so that we are able to update ourselves from every part of the country, no matter how remote the place could be. The National Police Service has also made significant progress in implementing the national strategy to increase Kenya's street cover to combat climate change. Additionally, it has addressed key policing issues highlighted during the Jukwaa la Usalama forums. Okay, challenges. We live in a world where constantly we have to expect challenges. In policing, I think challenges are part of policing. And some of them would include, of course, inadequate financial resources, inadequate personnel, that is both uniformed and non-uniformed staff, increasing incidence of sophistication in crime, inadequate psychosocial support for police officers, radicalization and recruitment of youth into terror groups, organized criminal gangs, etc., climate change, induced resources conflicts and crimes, inadequate integration of ICT in police operations. Those are some of the challenges that we've encountered as police officers. In conclusion, for this short presentation, let me say that despite the challenges, at being keenly aware that of the limited nature of resources are never enough. The National Police Service is committed to providing the highest quality of service and maintaining public trust through professionalism, accountability, community engagement. We are dedicated to upholding the law, protecting lives and property, and promoting a safe and secure environment for all Kenyans, residents, and visitors. That comes to the end of my short presentation, and I want to thank you very much. Asante sana.
Thank you very much, Bwana Michael Nyaga. We now welcome our next moderator, who will be Madam Bani.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mushiri Nyaga, for that elaborate presentation, and Mr. Narengo Pass, National Security, for the presentation. I want to take this opportunity to moderate, and my name is Bernice Levedeket. I'm the Principal Administrative Secretary, National Police Service. From the onset, allow me to recognize the presence of our chief guest, and thank you for your insights. It was quite insightful, Inspector General and his DIGs, and allow me to ride on all the existing protocols as highlighted earlier before. Without further ado, we are going to start the next presentation. My request kindly is we ensure that we switch on our cameras and the audio to make our presentations. We also need to be very attentive as we listen to this conversation. We've started a very beautiful insights and conversation as a country that will inform our security architecture. And after this, we'll have a lot of action points from all the institutions. So kindly note that even as we present, we need to align our presentation and ask our question to ourselves this question: to what extent are the institution implementing the constitutional values and principles of public service? One. Number two, improve performance and efficiency to optimal levels. And lastly, provide premier services to the public, qualitative, quantitative, and timeless. Having said that, allow me to invite our first speaker from National Police Service. I'll do this presentation, so I'll start with National Police Service, then quickly invite the other presenters from other organizations. So Mr. Lawrence Owino from Administrative Police Service, kindly take the stage. Our maximum time allowed is 3 to 5 minutes. So kindly, Mr. Owino from Administrative Police Service, take your stage. Thank you. If Mr. Lawrence Owino is not available, please allow me to invite Mr. Stephen Basu as we await Mr. Owino to set up, then we can move. I hope Mbasu is available for the next presentation. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mbasu. Please take.
Thank you, Madam. Our chief guests for today, the Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service. Sir, allow me to ride on the protocols established earlier by the speakers ahead of me. My responsibility will be to highlight or comment on what Kenya Police Service is doing in implementation of the 3 thematic areas, that is implementing the constitutional values and principles of public service. Number 2 is improving performance and efficiency to optimal levels. And 3, providing premier service to public, qualitative, quantitative, and timelessly service. On the first thematic area, that is implementing the constitutional values This aligns with the Chapter 10 of the Constitution 2010, which emphasizes the integrity, transparency, accountability, and service to the people. In this area, Kenya Police Service, in aligning with the National Police Service Code of Conduct and oversight of the Ethics and Corruption Commission and Independent Police Policing Oversight Authority, has undertaken the following actions, strategic actions. First, to enforce strict adherence to the Code of Conduct and Ethics. Two, swift disciplinary and legal actions on malpractices, bribery, and abuse of office. Three, the service has integrated ethics training into all the courses, basic, promotional, and specialized courses. The service has also established corruption prevention committees that in line with the recommendations of the EACC. The service has developed anti-corruption strategy and also the conflict interest policy. On the same, in enhancing transparency and accountability, that's on the same thematic area, the service has digitalized the occurrence book, case files, and traffic records to reduce manipulation. The public periodic performance and crime statistics reports. The service has strengthened the internal audits and inspections of its services. The service has also ensured operations and properly documented traceable reports. The service also collaborates with IPOA, that's Independent Policing Oversight Authority, on investigations of complaints against police officers. And last on that one also, the service has been able to make reports to the control of budgets on quarterly basis. On the same, to ensure equity, inclusiveness, and non-discrimination, that's in consistency with the Bill of Rights of the Constitution of 2010. The service provides equal policing services across all the regions. That should be urban, rural, and marginalized areas. The service enforces non-discriminatory practices regardless of gender, ethnicity, religion, or status. The service has established gender desks in all and child protection units in all the police stations across the country. The service recruits and promotes officers to reflect the Kenya's diversity and inclusivity goals. The service also trains officers on human rights, gender sensitivity, and vulnerable groups protection. On strengthen public participation and stakeholder engagement. This is anchored in community policing framework and partnership. The service conducts external validation of all the policies that it undertakes. The service, through community policing meetings with the stakeholders, with the local leaders and residents, the service partner with the civil society, private sector, and the local administration in pursuit of crime and other evil practices within the society. The service has also established community policing committees at all levels to the lowest level. And these community policing committees hold stakeholder exchange forums where information is shared and used. To uphold rule of law, human rights, and professionalism, this is in line with the National Police Service Commission standards and international policing norms. The service ensures all arrests, searches, and detentions comply with the legal procedures. The service, in attempts to, has eliminated extrajudicial actions, excessive use of force, and unlawful detention. The service has also endeavored to provide continuous training on use of force, human rights, and professional conduct. The service has also equipped officers with the cameras and the standard operating procedures, that's SOPs, to enable them to perform their duties within the procedures. On the thematic area on improving performance and efficiency to optimal levels, that is maximizing output with available resources while maintaining quality service delivery. The service, the areas that are under this service is to implement performance management, that's performance contracting and appraisal, undertake process of re-engineering to eliminate bureaucracies and delays, promote digitization of services, optimize resource utilization, and strengthen capacity building and continuous training of officers. The service has cascaded performance contracting for all units, stations, and specialized operations. The service conducts annual and mid-year staff appraisal linked to promotional and rewards. The service developed clear key performance indicators that in crime reduction rates, response time, and case clearance rates, and also as digitalized appraisal system for transparency and tracking. In that area, the service simplify the procedure of reporting, recording statements, and case handling. That is now the strategic actions. The service also reduced the paperwork by introducing standardization digital workflow. The service has eliminated duplication between departments by engaging in the ongoing review of establishment of units and formations. To promote digital services, that's in the area of implementing the e-occurrence book and digital case management. The service conducts resource audits to identify gaps and inefficiencies. The service ensures proper maintenance and tracking of vehicles, that is in areas of transport and equipment. It ensures fuel maintenance management and fleet management systems are in place. To strengthen capacity building and continuous training, the service conducts regular training needs assessment on a quarterly basis. It offers training on cyber crime, forensic audit, terrorism, and traffic management. The service also partners with the training institutions and international agencies in the management of its affairs. On thematic area number 3, that's providing premier services to premier services to public quantitatively, and timelessly. This to ensure services meet citizen expectations in accessibility, responsiveness, and effectiveness. In this area, the service has developed a station-level service charters outlining the services. These charters actually outline the services and a time frame within which they're supposed to be provided. The service charters are displayed prominently in all the police stations and posts. The service has digitalized charters via police websites and mobile platform. The service monitor compliance through regular inspections and audit, and also the service link service standards to offer performance appraisal. To enhance customer service and public relations training, The service train officers on customer care, communication, and conflict resolution. The service has also institutionalized the front office professionalism, reporting desks in all the stations, and recognize and reward excellent service delivery. And on the expansion of the service accessibility, the actions taken by the Kenya Police Service is to centralize service to police posts, chief's offices, and where it benefits from fighting against illicit crews and drugs. To deploy, the service has introduced online reporting systems and digital applications. In strengthening complaints and handling and feedback mechanism, the service has established functional complaints desks in all the police stations. There's also provision of toll-free hotlines, which members of the public can make reports. There's also to ensure a timely resolution and feedback complaints. The service also track and analyze complaints to inform reforms in the whole system. And then last, and Madam, it's to ensure adequate staffing and equip the timely response. The actions taken by the service is to deploy officers based on population, crime trend, and workload. Equip stations with vehicles, communication equipment, and ICT tools. Strengthen emergency response units and rapid deployment teams. Oh, my time is up.
We have 30 minutes. 30 seconds, sorry.
Oh, Madam, I'm just on the last bit. That is conduct public awareness and sensitization campaigns. The service educates public in their rights, police services, and reporting procedures. To promote community policy, uses the media platform also to disseminate information, conduct community engagement programs, and share crimes. And I submit, Madam. Thank you for that thing.
Thank you so much, Mr. Basu, for that elaborate presentation. Kindly, let's keep our maximum 5 minutes, max, please. So I'll move to Mr. Lawrence Owino from Administrative Police Service as I ask Geoffrey Mutegi from DCI to get ready. Thank you very much.
In the afternoon. Hello.
Yes, please go ahead. Can see you.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, and I wish to apologize for the technology hiccup. Hello.
We can hear you. Please proceed.
Okay. My name is Lawrence Owino, the Director Planning and External Linkages, APS. The Chief of Staff and the Head of Public Service, the Permanent Secretary, present, the Inspector General, the Deputy Inspector General of Kenya Police Service, Administration Police Service, the Director Criminal Investigation, Principal Administrative Secretaries, Chief Executive Officers, all the directors, both uniformed and non-uniformed, head of departments, and my fellow colleagues, good afternoon. Because we don't have time, allow me to take this opportunity to express my sincere appreciation to the head of the public service for having convened this meeting, which is very cost effective and reaches out a large number of public servants. This meeting could have cost the taxpayers a lot of money had it been that it is done physically. Not to mention not to mention the risk associated with traveling and venue for this large number. I want to say that the Administration Police Service was established in 1902 under the Village Ordinance Act by then under Native Administration. Currently, the service is one of the services under the National Police Service, having been established under Article 243 of the Constitution of Kenya. I've keenly listened to the remarks which has been made by our head of public service, and I'm really deeply touched. Again, if we can look at it critically, we could realize that if we adopt the remarks which has been made, it will enable us to deliver services which are desired by the members of the public efficiently, effectively, and we can also be responsive to the needs and the aspirations of the members of the public. I've basically looked at today's theme, and I realized that it's based on two issues. The first one is delivery of premier services to the members of the public, which encompasses quality, quantity, and timeliness. The other aspect, which is a part of the theme, is on prudent use of public resources. We realize that if we can go by the two themes, then we'll be able to be a public service that is responsive to the aspirations and the needs of the member of the public. And by so doing, the development can be realized in this country. I've looked at also the remarks which has been made by our head of public service about the resetting. He said this is the time for us to reset the way we think, the way we act, alongside discipline, in order to realize the primary objectives of our establishment. As a public servant, we are required to effectively, efficiently, with a lot of accountability and transparency, to deliver the services to the members of the public. Having said that, allow me to go back to now my remarks pertaining to the Administration Police Service. In this regard, I'm going to look at some few thematic areas in the Administration Police Service. One thematic area is to enhance professionalism and accountability in the service, which I believe is very key in any public service, and particularly to uniformed staff. In order to enhance professionalism, the service has tailored courses which emphasizes on the need and scoring the importance and underscoring the importance of professionalism. You know, we cannot enhance professionalism and accountability in the service if it is not well structured. To this end, the Administration Police Service developed a book called Roadmap to Service Delivery, Revitalization 2023-2027. In this booklet, it contains all the 5 thematic areas with a full implementation matrix. Going by this will not derail from our service delivery, and it is citizen responsive. And also, another thematic area is to promote public trust and confidence. This is an area which has been very elusive for quite some time. And remember, the responsibility of police officers to provide security, it is a responsibility which was handed over to the police service or to the security agency by the members of the public. Because initially, the security was based on individual. Each and every person was taking care of his or her own security. But since this one was surrendered to the state, it is now the responsibility of the police officers to ensure that the public is safe. In order to promote public trust and confidence, therefore, we have an element or a police strategy that is community policing. The main aim of community policing is to engage the public for partnership on the issues of security. This aspect has worked for us because we are able to get the information from the members of the public on security issues. And it also helps us to timeously respond to the security needs of the public. We have also gone as far as deploying the officers based on the security needs. In the far-flung areas, we have deployed our formed-up units to ensure that they respond timely or timeously to the needs, security needs of the citizens on those far-flung areas. Also, in order to strengthen operational preparedness and logistical support, the government has issued some vehicles for the Administration Police Service and the National Police Service as a whole to ensure that whenever a report is made by the members of the public and it is from a distance, either by phone or physically, they respond properly to those needs. In order to meet all the thematic areas within the Administration Police Service, the DIG Administration Police Service signed a performance contract, with all the commanders in the formed-up units, the training institutions, and the field units. On assigning the performance contract, the service developed a work plan to ensure that the implementation of this work plan is fully achieved. The service has also put in place the performance management pool to ensure that it meets the aspirations of the needs of the members of the public. The performance management tool in this case include the establishment of the performance tracking team. I think this is quite unique within the service because it's the team that collects the reports, the annual reports from the field. They analyze it and see whether it is in line with the DIG strategic plan. On the side of digitization, the service has also digitized the hire of police officer services by the private persons. Now, when a private person wants to hire security services, he will need not to go to sub-county commander in order to request for this. Instead, they just go online and place their request, and everything will be done online, including payment of the hire of police officer services in that regard.
We need 1 minute, please.
Okay. We have also established a department called anti-vandalism. The main aim of this department is to ensure that all the infrastructures which have been put in place is not vandalized. Though it is very thin on the ground, but in future, we are looking forward to beef it so that it can meet the needs of the country. Okay. Further, in order to meet the needs of the members of the public and also to take care of our resources, we have established 4 sub-units. That is the mining police unit, the water police unit, the judiciary police unit, and the energy police unit. I can say that it has been elusive for us as a nation, because when you look at the developed world, the way they are taking care of their natural resources is not the way that we are taking care of our natural resources. When you look at what is taking place at the St. George's Dam in China, the dam is heavily guarded, while in our country, it is not heavily guarded. So it is in the interest of the members of the public that we take care of our natural resources, including dams. Okay. Now, I want to finish by saying that we are going to reset ourselves and we'll make a follow-up on what the remarks which has been made by our Principal Secretary, Mr. Josia, the remarks which has been made by Madam Opora, the remarks which has been made by our head of state, no, by our head of public service, so that we meet the aspirations of the civil servant of this country to ensure that the country develops. It is not lost in us that the security is very pivotal for economic and political growth. And unless we get on top of the things, this country cannot develop, because there is no investor that can invest in a country which is not stable. as far as the secretary is concerned. To this end, allow me to submit.
Thank you very much, Lawrence, for that elaborate presentation. Please allow me to skip Mr. Mutegi. He is having technical issues. At this juncture, I shall invite Dr. Antonio Merikwa, CEO of NACADA, to make his few remarks. Mr. Omerikwa, please, 3 to 5 minutes max. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I hope I'm audible. Our chief guest, the Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service, riding on the set protocols, my esteemed colleagues, good afternoon. I wish to begin by expressing my sincere appreciation to the Office of the Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service for convening this very timely and insightful forum. It has indeed been an eye-opener, particularly for SAGAs, which are designed as special purpose vehicles for efficient and effective service delivery within our state department architecture. Distinguished colleagues, allow me to introduce a candid reflection seasoned with a touch of humor. Even the most sophisticated governance system can be quietly undermined by a human variable. And unfortunately, one of these human variables is alcohol and drug abuse. If we do not collectively join efforts to prevent alcohol and drug abuse, we risk compromising the very foundation our national development and security depends on. Because quite frankly, no matter how robust our systems may be, they are implemented by human beings. And human beings being human beings, when impaired, we exactly know what will be produced at the end of the pipeline. The production and outcome will not be optimal. One might even say, and this is respectfully so, that our collective efforts of having the zero-fault audit may become slightly complicated when someone is operating at zero clarity or under the influence, which is the nature of alcohol and drug abuse. And this is why. When somebody is impaired with alcohol or drugs, it impairs judgment and weakens decision-making. It also undermines productivity, diminishes accountability, and does not normally support ethical conduct. It also introduces governance and compliance risks, which is a burden to the taxpayer. And the broader implication of this is imminent to national security in the form of crime and illicit trade, which translates to social instability, which in turn impacts the well-being of the citizenry of our country. It is therefore important to note that preventing alcohol and drug abuse is not a peripheral issue. It is a core governance and performance imperative. Distinguished colleagues, in addressing this challenge, the role of NACADA becomes central. And over the past year, we have registered significant milestones, as was highlighted by the Principal Administrative Secretary. This is in addition to an increase in nationwide public awareness campaigns. We've established and supported the treatment and rehabilitation frameworks, including the introduction of the community-based rehabilitation framework. We've also strengthened the multi-agency collaboration in enforcement and prevention efforts through the multi-agency command team, which was incepted this year. We've also enhanced our research and data collection systems to include national surveys, which gives us a basis for a scientific and informed intervention. We've also been involved in active engagement at the international and regional level, and we are proud to say that we are taking leadership in setting up the regional observatory to disseminate information on alcohol and drugs within the region. Colleagues, please allow me to specially recognize and appreciate our frontline partners in this fight, and these are the National Police Service and the National Government Administration officers. Their efforts have been impeccable, and this has gone way in reducing the carnage that has been caused by illicit alcohol and drug in our country. Your courage and dedication and sacrifice in the front line against illicit alcohol and drugs should not go unnoticed, and we encourage you to stay the course. The training that chiefs and assistant chiefs received last year has already started yielding tangible results, both in supply suppression and demand reduction. We encourage you to continue the synergy with all the agencies involved in the multi-agency infrastructure. I would like to also reiterate that as NACADA and as part of the service delivery intervention, NACADA has a toll-free number, 1192, which is available 24 hours a day, where anyone can call for help or report suspected drug activities. This platform remains open to all citizens and should be looked at as a support structure for the public service who are inadvertently disproportionately affected by the issues of alcohol and drug abuse. I'd like to give special recognition to the Principal Secretary Interior for your unrelenting, steadfast support in the fight against illicit alcohol and drugs. Equally important is the role of the Public Benefits Organization Regulatory Authority, the PBORA, which was established under the PBO 2013 Act and operationalized in 2024 May. PBORA provides a robust administrative and regulatory framework for the PBO sector with a mandate that includes registration and deregistration of PBOs, maintaining a register for the PBOs, reviewing annual reports, advising government on the sector contribution, and providing advisory and capacity building support to the PBOs. By strengthening oversight, transparency, and accountability within the PBO ecosystem, PBORA ensures that all sectors and actors in the development space adhere to sound governance and financial discipline. In the past year, PBORA has achieved a couple of milestones, which include finalizing of the PBO regulation, implementation of the capacity building programs, the Institute of Charity Management, through the Institute of Charity Management, designation as an implementation agency at the Financial Action Task Force framework. This is not without challenges, and I'll give a summary of cross-cutting challenges that exist in NACADA, in both NACADA and PBORA. The two key challenges that exist in the two institutions is insufficient staffing capacity and inadequate budgetary allocation. Specifically to PBORA, they have a challenge of an overlapping mandate with the multiple registration regimes. They also have a challenge of a contradictory provision within the Public Benefit Organization Act in 2013, where certain legal provisions pose potential national security risks. They have limited county level presence, which is attributed to the insufficient staff capacity. Their systems are also manual and outdated, so they need an improvement in the infrastructure. In the case of NACADA, the challenge that exists is alcohol licensing regime, which is within the purview of the county government. Different counties have different regimes which don't necessarily conform to the standards that are required nationally. The issue of lack of rehabilitation centers, which are meant to have been constructed by the county governments from the proceeds of licensing liquor. There's also an issue of the emergent threat of drug trafficking networks and the use of synthetic drugs. The issue of stigma within the treatment space, which impedes people seeking help. Finally, and of interest to the security sector is the cross-border organized crime challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, to summarize, I'd like to state that as sagas within the State Department of Interior, we reaffirm our unwavering commitment to supporting these national efforts. Our teams are working closely with our State Department to ensure that all our strategies are aligned to the better clarion call of the government. And beyond the systems and infrastructure, we also recognize that institutions are only as strong as its people, and as such, the aspect and the issue of alcohol and drug abuse should be put in the forefront. But ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to emphasize the fact that This engagement today is very timely, and it marks a commencement of continued conversation on the factors that afflict us as we work towards the great journey of getting to Singapore. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very, very much, Dr. Anthony Omerikwa, for those few remarks. Okay. I'll take this opportunity to invite Beverly Opora to take us to the next session. And thank you so much for your timely presentation. So Beverly, please.
Thank you. Sorry. Please proceed. I'll pass. Bennett.
Just go on if you're ready.
Thank you, Madam Banis. We now move to reactions from the plenary. We are progressing very well. I now call upon Duncan Kichamu to be able to guide us through reactions from plenary. Duncan, kindly proceed.
Thank you very much, Madam Beverly. Now, because of time, we will kindly request if there is any person who intends to ask a question on the plenary session to quickly raise their hand. We will take feedback or other questions from very few because of the time. So allow me to first of all request that if you have any question that you want to raise, please raise your hand and then we will give you that opportunity to go ahead and raise it. So very quickly, if you have anything to say, we are looking through the comments, the participant side to see who has raised their hand so that we can enable them to speak. Thank you. We can see Samuel Mudami. Samuel Mudami, please proceed. Next, we have Manasseh Muridhi, to be followed by Ezra Obo, then Nicholas Sunday, in that order. So if there is anyone who is ready, kindly proceed. Samuel Mudami. Samuel, we can't hear you. Next, we go to Nicholas Sunday, to be followed by Cosmas Kerau. Any of those who is ready? Okay, I think we don't have questions. So at this point, allow me to welcome you back, Madam Beverly. Please proceed and move us to the next section, which is to invite the IG to give us the next set of presentation. Thank you. Madam Beverly, back to you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Kichamu, for taking us through the session on reactions from plenary. And we still encourage that through the chat section, our colleagues and all participants feel free to be able to give their comments, to ask questions, and maybe recommendations. Now, colleagues, we and our chief guest, we have had very fruitful engagements. And it's now my distinguished to be able to react to the proceedings. Karibu sana, Inspector General.
Very much, Madam Bufflin. Now the Chief of Staff at the head of the Public Service, who is also our chief guest. All protocols observed. Fellow participants, good afternoon. I am greatly delighted to have an opportunity to address this very important forum, which has brought us together to discuss pertinent and timely issues regarding service delivery at our various workstations. First and foremost, I register appreciation to our Chief of Staff and the Head of the Public Service, Mr. Felix Koskei, for not only gathering us today for this noble purpose, but also for his consistent, innovative, and efficient stewardship of the public service in Kenya. Today's congregation, which offers officers from all corners of the country an opportunity to converge and deliberate on matters of great importance from their various locations, is a testament to the veterinary stewardship we have in the public service. The National Police Service takes cognizance of the crucial mandate bestowed on us regarding service delivery to the people in line with the constitutional values and principles of the public service. We have a solemn duty to offer policing services with dignity. Today, we are significantly called upon to revitalize and re-energize our resolve in the journey so as to optimize service delivery and truly become a professional, efficient, and responsive policing service as per the National Police Service vision. To achieve this, we are currently well guided by the National Police Service Strategic Plan 2023-2027, on whose roadmap we are working to ensure that each police station and other service points in the National Police Service become centers of excellence in serving and service delivery to the people of Kenya. In this journey, I thank our national government, which has been supportive in all ways possible. The huge investment we have received in terms of operational equipment, kits and uniforms, housing facilities, improved salaries and allowances, medical and mental care, motor vehicles, personnel recruitment, training, career progression, and the ongoing automation of policing services is something we do not take lightly. These are serious enablers and morale boosters to all National Police Service personnel. The Chief of Staff and the Head of Public Service, colleagues, the National Police Service is doing everything possible to deliver on its mandate and to keep the country safe and secure. Towards this end, I really appreciate today's engagement and the many issues that we have discussed this morning. As a service, we are well guided and revitalized and refreshed in our service delivery to the people. I call upon the National Police Service fraternity to anchor their services on the rule of law, patriotism, professionalism, discipline, and empathy, ethical conduct, zero tolerance to corruption, accountability, and a sense of reciprocity to a government that has being fully supportive to the service. We once again have a Damascus moment to fully transform the National Police Service into a 21st century policing agency. To optimize performance, effectiveness, and efficiency, even as we approach the electioneering period, we must continuously analyze, rethink, and re-strategize on how to improve on our services and how to address the various security challenges that will keep emerging. We are working to foster cooperation, collaboration, and interagency support with other governments and non-governmental actors. More so, this community engagement and community policing remains crucial in achieving policing by consent, as enshrined in our democratic space. I conclude by once again appreciating the Chief of Staff and the Head of the Public Service for convening us and for his insightful leadership. The National Police Service is well guided and totally committed to all efforts geared towards the betterment of service delivery to the people. I also urge those that are here representing the various departments to go out and pass down today's call for better service delivery to all personnel. I thank you and submit. It's now my singular duty and the honor to invite the chief guest, none other than Mr. Felix Koskei, to give his closing remarks. Welcome, our chief guest. Thank you.
Thank you, Raji, and good afternoon, all of you. I want to take this opportunity to thank all of us, those who have been on this meeting. I can see the participants have dropped from 10,000 to 4,000, but surely I think it is because of other assignments and may have arisen. But two things. One is that it has been a good discussion. We met today in this meeting as the very first meeting to have an engagement with all the ranks of officers under Interior and especially National Police Service. I want to assure you that this will be a continuous mode of discussion because we want each and every one of us to really understand where we are coming from, to really understand, more importantly, what His Excellency the President wants us to do in a manner that is efficient, effective, and also citizen-centric. So really, it is my privilege. It is a privilege to me to address all of us, to have addressed all of you, and to see that we have sat put, we have engaged, and I'm seeing that we are ready to proceed and do the transformation that the President is always telling us. I had listed several areas, the challenge areas, right from corruption within the service, issues of perception, issues of collusion and with complexity, with complicity with criminal elements, weaknesses, investigation and case attrition, issues of breakdown in the criminal justice chain, issues of operating in silos, issues of unprofessional conduct and poor public interface, issues like weak accountability mechanism, and the rest. And I want to submit that it is a wake-up call to all of us, the top command of the National Police, the management of various parastatals under Interior, to go and reflect and try to see how best will they try to change course and take the trajectory that the president has directed us to do. We want efficiency, we want accountability, we want responsibility, we want confidence from the people to return. We want trust by the public on public officers. We want public officers that are responsible. We want officers that are ready to apply the lawful consequences if their juniors or the people who are working under have digressed, or also accept to comply with the consequences that may from time to time be meted against them. Because we want a government that is orderly, a government that is structural, a government that abides by the rule of law, a government that knows very well that the only people to really serve are the citizens of this country. As public officers, I want to inform you and reiterate that these offices that we are holding are on public trust. If there was a way that all the people of Kenya could fit the office of the IG, of the office of head of public service, or the office of the president, they would be there. The 53 million people will be directing the police, will be directing the country, will be coordinating the public service. But since it is not possible, that donation of responsibility by the people of Kenya to us, to each and every one of us, needs to be handled carefully, needs to be handled with humility, and needs to be handled in a manner that will see enhanced service, quality service to the same people who mandated us to hold those offices. So as we are closing, I want to ask each and every one of us, as the IG said, let today be a Damascus moment. Let today be a day of reflection. Let today be a day of decision by each and every one of us to turn around and agree and have one rallying call. Let us have one mantra, which is we want to move this country from third world where we are to the first world. And then we agree to break it down and get to know the elements that will make us move to the first world. And then agree to go back to where we are, my office, your office, the entire department that you're heading, the institution you are running, what is its part? How best can it contribute to this journey to Singapore? So I want all of us to start from where we are going forward, adjusting and realigning ourselves, our activities, our character, our efforts, our focus on moving forward, turning this country from third world to first world. And for that, we shall be supporting the president, we shall be listening to his rallying call, and we shall be people who are in office now that people of Kenya will say, yes, we have sons and daughters who have resolved to work for this country. So for those few remarks, let me wish you the very best. Let us work very hard. Let us make Kenya great, and let us be people who will be remembered to have occupied these public offices in future. Thank you very much, and have a nice afternoon.
Thank you so much, sir, Head of Public Service and our chief guest for the day. We appreciate your remarks. And as they say, Feedback is the breakfast of champions. As an institution, we'll take it very, very, very well, and we stand guided. For us, now it's more action points. We'll have to become better and restore the lost public trust. So without further ado, I'm informed that Mr. Aji, Director of Training NPS, was meant to pray. I am not sure whether he's available. Mr. Aji, please. Allow me to. Okay.
Thank you, Madam Banis, Secretary of Administration, Accounting Officer of the National Police Service. All protocols observed. Allow me to present ourselves before the Lord for the closing prayer. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. O Allah, the sovereign of all power and the source of all wisdom, we ask you to guide our leadership, Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service, our Inspector General, our 2 DIGs and Director of DCI, our CEOs of various institutions, and all officers gathered on this platform today, with commitment to enhance service delivery. Grant them strength to carry their heavy responsibility with integrity and wisdom, to make decisions to serve the common good, soften their hearts with compassion for the vulnerable, and steady their hands to uphold justice. O Allah, the most merciful and all-powerful protector, we entrust to your care the officers in the public service and the National Police Service working in challenging situations and high-risk areas. We ask you to surround them with a divine protection from every direction. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. Sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladhdallin. Amin. Thank you, Madam.
Amen. Thank you very much. The meeting is now ended. Thank you.